It goes to in the same direction for us to say that we are going to look into hospitality offered during those trips. Because we already know that the flight and the hotel was covered. This is normally what hospitality involves. But since you want to know more detail and want to know if anything else was covered, we are going to look into that, and we will have more detailed information for you.
Balázs, can you give us any details on that? I don't have anything here with me. What I can say is the following. There are guidelines in place for missions by Commission employees. I don't know if there are criteria, laid out in black and white. But when the decision is made by the Director General, it's up to that Director General to carry out an analysis. I'll have to look for the criteria myself and come back to you on it.
According to the information that we have, and I'm talking here about the Commission, no other senior officials were well accepted or had trips paid by other parties from outside the European Union. So this is the information that I have. Regarding the European Commission, I do not know about the EES, but Nabila will look into that and will revert. We are in the process of now strengthening the rules, so not all elements are known to us today, but this is a process which is ongoing. We could already offer information with regards to how we are going to conscribe and to restrict the number of cases in which that can be accepted altogether. As to the process of authorization, perhaps, Balázs, you already know more?
Yes, so there's a broader context here, as I tried to explain on Friday. So the revision of the guidelines actually started back in November, initially because of the greening strategy of the Commission, how to apply that to the mission guidelines, because the last mission guidelines were actually published in 2017, so it was time to review them. In the meantime, considering the developments that occurred, notably towards the end of the year, we thought that it would be appropriate to add an additional dimension. So not only bringing in the green aspects, but also looking at, for example, how a conflict of interest is prevented through when it comes to contributions by third parties to covering mission expenses. This process is going to take some time still. We are looking at early summer. However, the elements that Dana has elaborated will go into effect with an immediate effect, essentially. So the very aspect that you are raising, we are looking into, of course, into that too. For now, what we have is what Dana has announced. But again, the process will run until the summer, so that gives us the space to incorporate additional dimensions as well in the analysis.
Thank you. There are also, what you need to understand is that basically the Directors Generals are the high echelon of the management of their respective DGs and of the administrative budgets. But of course, part of this review, we are going to look into the analysis of such conflict of interest. But anyway, if you exclude or if you reduce the cases in which free airline tickets, for instance, can be accepted to the United Nations, G20 or G7 already, you reduce the spectrum of cases where a potential conflict of interest can occur. So if that is the case, if Commission staff can only accept free tickets, if it's in the context of events where the costs are covered by G7, G20 and the UN, I believe that the idea of a conflict of interest is already very, very, very much reduced. As I was saying, and as you were both saying, the system is also looked at in the process of revising, let's say, the guidelines for our missions, indeed.